So when you look at your research, it's easy to read, it's smart, it's sharp. So we made a wall looking at some of the global insights and some of the hot spots that you see going forward. So we'll put that up, and at the same time, I'm going to ask you what everything changes if President Trump becomes President Trump again. So
yes.
How do you? I imagine you get a lot of questions from your clientele about that. Like, what's your answer?
Well, you can see in the sell-side investment research outlooks that are coming out that they're really sticking to inflation forecasts and interest rates. For this, we have data sets, and almost all of them refer kind of obliquely to geopolitical risk. So we try to pick up where they leave off, but there have never been so many potentially systemic factors in the mix, as well as the kind of reverberations with domestic political considerations like immigration and green policies, right? So U.S. anti-immigration sentiment in Congress and indeed within the public, now interfering with continuing U.S. support for Ukraine. This is a very acute set of geopolitical considerations. Market's still pretty sanguine.
So again, I mean, this is all about divisions, right? Within countries that could get worse and spill over. We have the Taiwanese elections. When you look at your list of worries, where does that show up?
At the moment, it's about in the middle because we're trying to
There's so much else.
Yes, we've still put the Middle East escalation risk and Ukraine escalation risk at the top. Taiwan elections mid-January could be a thorn in the side to China. I was in Asia at the time of the APEC summit talking to investors there who kind of swiftly moved with enthusiasm toward risk on, and better relations. I think the improved mood music between the U.S. and China is a shift in tactics, not strategy.
But, I do find it amazing. Like, if you look at global GDP, I think 60% of people or 60% of countries that make up global GDP will vote next year. I mean, 2024 is a big year.
It's really astonishing. I mean, 4 billion people will vote in the most populous democracies. So India, South Africa, Mexico, which had huge protests. Of course, the United States. The reason why I called the outlook inflection point is because just how much about, let's say, the second half of this decade depends on these choices. These aren't incremental moves. They're going to be quite significant. I think investors have got their heads around the idea that there could be a Trump 2.0. U.S. investors have good memories of Trump presidency. In Europe and Asia and in the Middle East, it's a very different sense.
Thank you, Tina. Tina Fordham, their founder and geopolitical strategist at Fordham Global at Foresight. Now,